Driven by their bleeding heart compassion, humans saved the dinosaurs, fancying themselves saviors only to end up caged as zoo animals for the dinosaurs' evolved descendants to gawk at? The ultimate cosmic dark fairy tale. You showed mercy to your natural predators, and those predators immortalized you in their textbooks. Behold, this is why emotionally driven species are doomed to die out. I am Ava Sorensen, captain of the timeship Kronos. This was meant to be humanity's most glorious mission, observing Cretaceous Earth, a living Jurassic Park, from the absolute safety of our quantum phase shields. We were not tourists. We were observers beyond time, recorders. The prominent red button on the bridge constantly reminded us of the iron rule. Any intervention meant self-destruction. Until that damned rock appeared. Navigation Officer Ken's voice tore through the bridge's calm. Captain, ultra-high-density celestial object. Trajectory locked on Earth. 10-kilometer class diameter. Impact in 71 hours. My blood froze. Chicxulub, the starting point of the extinction event, unfolding right before our eyes. Ecologist Rajiv pressed his face against the observation window, pale as moondust. My God! They don't know. They don't know. Geologist Maya grabbed my arm, her nails digging into my uniform. Ava! The gravity tractor beam. We could nudge it, make it hit the deep ocean. Save them. Her eyes held the despair of witnessing billions of lives extinguished. Maya! Article 1 of the Horizon Convention. I snapped, trying to use reason to suppress the frantic pounding of my own heart. Security Chief Max rested his hand on his holster, his eyes like tempered ice. Risk of exposure? Attract what? The convention is ironclad, Captain. Arguments stormed across the bridge. Rajiv groaned in anguish. Watch them all die. How is that different from murder? Is the name Kronos irony? I looked outside. Pterosaurs glided gracefully. Diplodocus herds moved like mountains. A T-Rex tore at its prey on a riverbank, its low roar even penetrating the secondary sensors. This wasn't fossils. Not models. A living, breathing world. Impact simulations roared in my mind. Firestorms, dust clouds, endless winter. Tens of millions of years of splendor turned to ash. The countdown tolled like a funeral bell. 12 hours. Rajiv's eyes looked like a dying animal's. Maya's knuckles were white. That cold, death-dealing rock grew larger on the screen. My finger hovered over the comms panel, stiff. Reason screamed, but in some corner of my heart suppressed by the title, Captain, a voice demanded. Having power and standing idly by, isn't that another form of murder? Initiate Guardian Protocol, my voice rasped, unfamiliar. The bridge fell deathly silent. Max roared in protest. Responsibility is mine, I cut him off, pressing the comms key. Log. Captain Ava Sorensen authorizes. Target. Asteroid. Gravitational tractor beam. Minimal energy perturbation. Target remote Pacific Ocean. Execute. Then initiate level 1 silence. The Kronos slid like a ghost into position. Invisible tethers of gravity coiled around the destroyer. I felt the faint tremor through the hull, power being expended, rules being broken. Data flickered on screens. Trajectory deviation. Success. The impact happened. Massive tsunamis, sky, blotting dust. But the simulation curve changed. The ocean absorbed the shock, the winter period shortened. Scans showed. Pterosaurs still flew in thinning clouds. Dinosaurs moved on scorched earth. Mammalian signals. Still present? We did it? Rajiv's voice sounded in the darkened bridge, shaky with exhaustion and a sliver of fragile joy. I didn't answer. With silence protocols active, we were a floating coffin. Life support hummed, the only heartbeat in the dark. Too quiet. A cold, ominous dread crawled up my spine. I knew we weren't saviors. We were more like rats hiding in a dark corner awaiting judgment. Weeks later, judgment came. Not from Earth, from the direction of the moon. An irresistible, gentle force field instantly enveloped the Kronos. All systems, including the red self-destruct button, instantly died. Like an invisible hand, it pulled us smoothly, inexorably, towards the moon's far side, towards what our scans had registered as a vast crater shadow. When the crater's disguise dissolved, revealing a smooth, mirror-like metal entrance, my breath stopped. We were placed inside a colossal, transparent dome. Outside the dome was a meticulously arranged Cretaceous landscape. Giant ferns, cycads, even a few leisurely browsing Brontosaurus and Triceratops. But they shimmered with faint, unnatural metallic glints. A chill shot from my soles to the crown of my head. A screen lit up automatically. An image appeared of a being. It stood upright, covered in iridescent scales, clad in tailored silver fabric. Most chilling were its eyes, huge, golden vertical pupils like a giant lizard's, yet gleaming with cold intelligence. A gentle, precise, utterly emotionless voice spoke directly into my mind. "Welcome, time observers from the future. Welcome to the central control station of the Cenozoic Origin Preserve, or, in terms you may more readily grasp, the administration of the Ark Zoo." Ark Zoo? My heart stopped, recalling Patel's offhand metaphor. Who are you? I forced calm. "We are the Terra Custodians," the Lizardman administrator said gently. "Or, classified by your historical taxonomy, we are the descendants of theropod dinosaurs, specifically the Tyrannosauroida. After the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event, a fortunate branch of our lineage survived and ultimately embarked on the path to sentience. The truth pierced our spines like ice daggers." "Preserve? Sue?" Rajiv's voice trembled. "Precisely," the Lizardman nodded gracefully. "This area is the historical reenactment zone, the core of the preserve. We have precisely reconstructed key pre-extinction ecological niches for research, education, and nostalgia." It gestured towards the Brontosaurus outside the dome. "Those are genetically recreated individuals, implanted with behavioral controllers. Quite docile. The true wild populations inhabit other sectors of the preserve." It paused, its golden vertical pupils sweeping over the horrified faces of the Kronos crew. "As for this dome you inhabit, and your ingenious Kronos, they constitute one of the preserve's most popular exhibits. The Eve of Humanity. Time Observer relics." "Exhibit?" Mia roared. "We're prisoners." "No." The Lizardman's tone held a hint of confusion, as if explaining the obvious. "You are exhibits. Precious, living specimens from the final glorious era of human civilization. Your intervention in the KT event is one of the most pivotal, most educationally significant events in the preserve's historical records. It directly enabled our lineage's survival and indirectly provided the initial samples for establishing the Human Evolution Observation Zone within the preserve." "Human Evolution Observation Zone?" My voice was dry. The Lizardman displayed an image. Within a similar massive dome, like ecozone, simulating savanna and cave environments, lived early Homo sapiens, Neanderthals. They wore simple hides, engaged in primitive hunting and gathering. Invisible force fields and hovering observation drones surrounded them. "Indeed," the Lizardman stated flatly. "After your intervention, although large dinosaurs persisted, environmental upheavals still occurred. Your ancestors, those small mammals, faced harsher competition and continued predation pressure from dinosaurs. Their evolutionary path diverged. One branch, under extreme pressure, sparked intelligence earlier. We have been observing and guiding them within the preserve. It is a key control group for understanding human origins." It added, "Purely observational, of course. We strictly adhere to the non-intervention principle. Absolute cold washed over everyone. We thought we were observers, saviors. Instead, we, and the ancestors we tried to protect, had become exhibits, specimens in a nature preserve run by dinosaur descendants. We saved the dinosaurs, at the cost of becoming living displays alongside our own ancestors. Then our time? Earth?" Maya asked, trembling. The lizardman's eyes seemed to flicker with pity. Your time jump in our historical records is a long, settled, determinate event. Shortly after your departure, the human era civilization you belong to self-destructed in the late 22nd century AD due to resource depletion, ecological collapse, and internal conflict. Its voice remained devoid of inflection. The Kronos is the only intact temporal artifact your civilization left behind. And you are the last living witnesses of that era. This is also your core value as exhibits. Self-destructed. Last witnesses. Core value. Each word was a blunt knife sawing at our remaining dignity. Now, I sit in this cold bridge, the heart of what was meant to be a time observatory, now just the centerpiece decoration in a giant glass cage. Outside, those advanced reptilian intelligences, our creators, our jailers, point at us with their well-dressed young, as if inspecting insects in ancient amber. Gentle commentary flows from omnipresent speakers, chillingly clear. Observe, these are humans, an extinct species of mammalian intelligence that briefly dominated Earth. They possessed unique creativity and intense emotions. This device is named the Kronos, a primitive tool with which they attempted to glimpse the secrets of time. Note the crude temporal phase shield generator, a typical manifestation of their technological limitations. Of particular note is this event. On the Great Intervention Day, these human observers, motivated by an irrational impulse they termed mercy or moral duty, defied their own highest law, using a gravity beam to slightly alter the extinction asteroid's trajectory. This act, like a pebble dropped into a raging river, sent out ripples that ultimately led to the survival of our custodian civilization and the accelerated demise of humanity in its native timeline. It perfectly illustrates the unpredictable and self-destructive tendencies inherent in the emotionally driven decisions of low-entropy entities facing cosmic-scale events. This is the exhibit's most instructive lesson. Self-destructive tendencies. Rajiv muttered in the corner, chewing on the phrase with a nervous chuckle. Max paced like a caged beast, futilely checking his long, dead weapon systems. Maya stared blankly at a leisurely passing, metal, implant, controlled brontosaurus outside the dome. I walked to the observation window. A small lizardman child pressed its face against the transparent barrier, huge golden vertical pupils gazing at me with curious, utterly benign scrutiny. Its mother explained something in their fluid language. I could almost hear. Look, that's the female specimen who made the foolish mercy decision. The deepest chill came not from deliberate malice, but from this absolute, superior, perspective rationality and indifference, like observing an ant colony. Our pain, our regret, our civilization's final lament, were merely objective commentary in their nature preserve, a living demonstration of how irrational impulses lead to self-destruction. The Kronos, humanity's ark carrying the ambition to probe time's secrets, had finally docked at a port called Eternal Exhibit, and I, Ava Sorensen, captain of the Kronos, one of the last commanders of human civilization, am now designated as chief living specimen of the Eve of Humanity exhibit, Ark Zoo. Outside the dome, a recreated pterosaur glided gracefully across the artificial sky, its shadow falling upon the Kronos' cold hull and over me. There is no God here, no salvation. Only cold glass, eternal observation, and a world ruled by dinosaur descendants, a world we helped create but could never comprehend. I saved the dinosaurs, and they put me in a zoo.